What's up residents, Alistair here. I'm assuming that by now you've already seen the Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer too, but if you haven't, go watch it and catch up because it is awesome. But to recap, here's my reaction summed up in 5 seconds.
Oh my god!
Right, after months of waiting, we finally get to see more of Mike Dougherty's highly anticipated sequel to Godzilla 2014 that was directed by Gareth Edwards. There's so much to talk about, and since there's so many breakdowns already out there, let me go over what was revealed and how it might impact the story. Just to make you guys aware, if this isn't obvious already, there might be light spoilers from these trailers, so if you were looking to go into the film with a clean slate, click away now if you're that person. Anyway, let's go to the first striking shot from the trailer, which is this one of the ocean and what appears to be bodies floating in the water. I could be wrong, it could be debris of some sort, but my initial inspection says that these are bodies that may have fallen from a plane that was attacked by Ghidorah or Rodan, which would make this an extremely eerie shot, which reminds me a lot of the first teaser ever released for Godzilla 2014 that shows crowds of crushed humans from the aftermath of a monster attack. The next shot that stands out to me has to be when Rodan flies over what appears to be Mexico, and for those that don't know, in the Showa Rodan films, whenever he would fly over the buildings, the sheer gale force wind would cause them to collapse and explode, and I'm so happy they brought that element back. The next standout shot to me has to be this, from the human ship that has yet to be named, though some fans are referring to it as the Super X, which is an airborne vessel from the high-side Godzilla films that was used to fight monsters. You can see Washington DC in a state of absolute ruin, completely flattened, which seems to be the same area as we see Rodan flying over in the first trailer. You can even see the shadow of King Ghidorah flying through the smoke. This just looks amazing, it's exactly the kind of apocalyptic scenery I wanted to see from a Godzilla film. Now let me quickly go over Charles Dance's character, and the rumour is that this is actually Conrad from Kong Skull Island, which I think would be incredibly interesting and worth talking about in a video on its own. But let's just say certain elements from Kong would make his character's story arc very interesting, especially if he returns for Godzilla vs. Kong. This theory is also held up by the fact Mike Dougherty claimed that one of the characters from Skull Island will be returning, so you can decide who that will be. Now, though the trailer shows plenty of monster action that I can't wait to see, I'm happy that we'll be getting smaller, more human moments like this, with the court debating what to do in their situation. It grounds the film in some sort of reality that will make the monster fights and the destruction more impactful. It reminds me of the court scenes from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, except here it will probably have a more meaningful role in the film. Now let's talk about the new kaiju seen in the trailer. It seems there's at least 2 new monsters that may very well be original creations from Legendary. The first appears to be some crustacean-like kaiju with spider-like attributes. Fans are saying it's a scorpion, but because the legs are inverted and opening inwards, it would have to either be upside down or there's actually more than one here, and there's multiple titans rising at the same time from different points. These could be similar monsters to the scorpions from Clash of the Titans, which would be cool to see being crushed by the King of the Monsters. The second monster appears to be much larger and more rounded, almost like a tortoise, though the clip cuts off before we can find out whether the mountain is actually part of the titan or if it'll slide right off. You can actually see the elbow of the monster here, but since it's so pronounced it could indicate that it's actually quadrupedal, which is why some of the fans have been saying it could be Anguirus, but I highly doubt this is so since the appeal of another Toho monster would make the film way more marketable, so they would have announced it already. We also see a bit more of the underwater Mayan-like ruins of a previous civilization that would worship the Titans. It looks like it leads to Godzilla's lair, so there may be an air pocket that allows Godzilla to rest. I love the idea that this is where Godzilla sleeps. It's like he's a dog that's just coming home to sleep in his bed, except this time we are his pets. Now let's compare Mothra's lava form to the one seen in the Toho movies. They both have similar attributes, but it does take some creative liberties. This one seems way more emotive. You can tell it's complacent just from the way it's watching the humans. That's one thing this movie seems to be doing a great job at doing, giving the monsters emotions and expressions that can be read by the viewers, making them actual characters more than they've ever been. If you look at Ghidorah throughout the trailer as well, you can see that he is indeed golden, just like he is in the classics and the Monster Arts figures shown at Comic-Con. And I absolutely love that you can see the anti-gravity beams just charging up inside his neck. It gives Ghidorah a character that he's never had before, something that rivals the awesomeness of Godzilla's dorsal plates lighting up. One thing I just noticed while editing this is the actual people you can see in front of Ghidorah. Just look at that scale. I can't get over how good this looks. And when you look closely at Ghidorah, you can see he actually has a very similar rigid skin texture from what's found in the classics, so I'm happy that they went out of their way to respect the originals. It looks like Cal Chandler's character Mark Russell is also inside the helicopter when this is all going down. It seems like he's going to have a prominent role alongside the soldiers whilst they perform some kind of mission, so I wonder how he's going to escape with his life. Some of you might have also noticed the similarities between this shot and the Halo jump from Godzilla 2014. It's hard to exactly say what this is. Some are saying it's Mothra, while some are saying it's a dream sequence showing Ghidorah falling to Earth. It's currently a mystery, though there is something later in the trailer that supports the idea that it's Ghidorah dropping Godzilla. We see what looks to be Godzilla on fire, and it could very well be following the aftermath from being dropped from the stratosphere. He's actually so hot that surrounding buildings are just melting, which is terrifying. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. Moving on, we see Serizawa holding his father's pocket watch, which was recovered from the ruins of Hiroshima. This is indeed the same one from the first movie. He only took it out to deter the Americans from using nuclear weapons to stop Godzilla. So are they going to try something even bigger to stop Ghidorah, and will he be a part of it, as the look of distress on his face indicates? Here we see the same ship being followed closely by Rodan that was seen in the first trailer, that seems to be luring the monsters to each other for an all-out brawl. So I'm left wondering what the fate of this vessel will be, since it's putting itself in such immediate danger. Now let's talk about debatably the most awesome part of the trailer, where Godzilla charges at Ghidorah in what seems to be Boston. Some people have complained that Godzilla runs too fast, and whilst it may be sped up for the trailer, it's awesome nonetheless to see something that size move so quickly. And one thing to note is when Godzilla actually grabs Ghidorah, he puts his hand down one of Ghidorah's throats, which is both hilarious and incredible. Lovely. Just lovely. The legendary marketing team is doing an amazing job at getting the fans hyped while not releasing too much information. There's so much of the story left for speculation, which is good because I was worried going into it that it would spoil my experience, but nope, there's plenty more left to learn, and I'm super excited to learn it all with you. For more on Godzilla King of the Monsters, subscribe and hit that notification button to become a resident of Dangerville today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter since we share loads of Godzilla news as it comes out. 2019 is going to be a great year to be a Godzilla fan, so tell us what you're most excited to see in the comment section down below. I've been Alistair from Dangerville, and we'll see you in the next one.